It is starting. You're good.
Well, good morning, everyone. Do not adjust your dials. I am Leah McCann. Happy Aloha Friday. I am your guest host as our fearless leader is traveling the world, living a life by design. It's always a pleasure and an honor to be here. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for choosing just to be here today and finding ways to grow your business, give back to your community. Today, we are going to be in this little red book, A Thousand Little Things Happy Successful People Do Each Day. If you don't have your copy, it's totally okay. I'm going to read from it. However, before we get into that, we always start off with a few tell me something goods. And I see you, Lainey Lane, with your hand up. What do you got for us this morning?
Oh my gosh, this was from earlier. Oh, but I'm just happy to see you, so that's all that matters.
Okay, yeah, we had a great pre-show. If you're not hopping on the pre-show, I
Whew,
would
it's
encourage
good.
you get on the pre-show. You're going to get great things. We've got lots of great nuggets that we had this morning. So thank you, Lainey Lane. All right, the one day removed birthday girl, Renee Quigley.
Hey, good morning there. I just wanted to thank everyone for the outpouring of love I received yesterday. Every text, every phone call, every email, every social media message. I totally felt the love from all of you yesterday. And I'm just so grateful for such an amazing, amazing community. And as always, I love anytime I get to spend chatting with you guys on the phone. So thank you all for sending the birthday love yesterday. I really appreciate you.
You got it, my friend. Happy birthday. I still don't believe your age. It's okay though.
Most people don't.
I'm not going to tell you how old she is. I don't believe it. All right, Kathleen, what do you got? What's something good?
Okay, this it still brings tears to my eyes. I just closed the past 2 weeks two out-of-state buyers that moved to Michigan. Both were KW referral agent to agent. And one of them was my Coast Guard VA military family that was totally virtual. They never ever saw the house in person until 3 weeks after closing. And he just invited me to his ceremony when he gets sworn in 3 weeks. And I've done the Coast Guard Coasties PCSing for 5 years. It's the first time I've ever been invited. It's usually family. And it just made me, first of all, I cried. Second of all, it's the cutest little family and their daughter, who's 3. The day of closing in Connecticut, they had to rush her to the ER. We had to close at the ER. So just the fact that they felt they trusted me, and then they went a step further and invited me to a very private ceremony. It's why I love what we get to do, and especially to honor our military.
Yes, I love that you shared that because when we think about what we do as real estate agents, you're living proof that you went from transactional to being relational, where people want you in their world. I love that. That's amazing. It made me think about too. I was talking to the Garys yesterday, and they were saying how they've been in this business so long that they've been invited to baby showers, and now those babies are graduating high school, and now they're getting invited to weddings. That's what makes this business so special is we get to do life with people and clients. We're not just there to pass a transaction and collect a commission. You they're like wanting you in their world, and those are
Mhm.
forever clients. So I love that. Congratulations. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
sharing that. Okay, so here's what we're going to talk about today. I love this little book, and I thought, you know what? Let's take a little break. I mean, we're still going to talk about some business stuff because that's the goal is how do we walk away being able to implement something in our business. And I keep thinking how often we study successful people, agents are studied, interviewed. James does this every single Wednesday where he's finding agents who are winning. He wants to put together one pages, best practices. And what we know is most people weren't born into this success. They did and simply continue to do the things that help them realize their potential. And one thing that we know successful people do is they take decisive and immediate action. And so on page 219, it says this. Very few people ever live to become the success story they dream of. There's one simple reason why. They never take action. The acquisition of knowledge doesn't mean you're growing. Growing happens when what you know changes how you live. So many people live in a complete daze. Actually, they don't live. They simply get by because they never take the necessary action to make things happen to seek their dreams. There's a huge difference between knowing how to do something and actually doing it. Knowledge and intelligence are both useless without action. It's as simple as that. It got me thinking. There are two other books that we study a lot. One is another red book called MREA, and the other is The Shift. And they say the same thing. MREA says focus on the models and systems for action. You've got the economic, lead gen, budget, organizational model. When you implement those, it drives results. These models aren't theory. Hang on one second. They're not theory. They're like actual blueprints for action. And then where's the shift? Here's the shift book. Kind of a mess. When you look at the shift book, right, it literally are 12 tactics or action steps, not ideas, but strategies that we go and actually implement. And so all three of these books talk about how do we do action. They provide framework and we get into the right mindset and their strategies. It's always about taking action, purposeful and decisive action. Like Donna always says, just decide. So I thought today we could talk about, hey, what's an area of your business or something that you have taken massive action on recently that you are seeing direct results from? And this can be, whether it's something you did in your listing side, what I want to know, something that you said, man, the pendulum has to switch. We're going through this shift. What is something that you personally took decisive action on? And my hope is you can take away from these people who share, maybe you were actually winning in something and you gave up too quickly. Or maybe you were spread too thin because there are so many shiny objects and so many things going on that you couldn't go all in on something. That would be my hope that we could take away from this is you can go implement something. So Barb, you had your hand up first. I'm going to go to you. What have you done recently that has just changed the results of your business?
Well, one of the things was joining KW. And so my kids club, I know it's not very recent because I've been doing it for a little while, but the change that I noticed once I started this and working with the families and dropping off things, like I've got kids running to the door, hey, it's Barb. And then I hear from the parents, like, you look after my children. Like they are so happy to see you. You know you're getting all of our business, and they refer me off to other people. And it's just that extra little step. It's nothing big. Like I in one house, I'm house Barb because she has an auntie Barb. And so is it auntie Barb or house Barb? It's what you give back to your people. I mean, the pop buys and everything, even for my actual clients, it's when I do the kids ones. It just made a big difference. And I recently just learned that the Dollarama has gift cards, so now I can do that. And because kids love going to the Dollarama, they get to spend money there. But I'm glad that you went into this part of the book, and it's funny. If you read it, because it's completely highlighted in my book, they talk about the GPS and the 411. I've got that written there beside in the side notes. Like this is exactly what we do. And it's focusing on something that just helps you move yourself forward along with your clients. It's that feel good thing.
I love it. And I mean, if you couldn't feel that energy, this book says 1,000 little things happy, successful people do each day. When you play in your strength zone and you enjoy what you're doing, it makes what we do easier on the days that are hard. And Barb, I know last year I had reached out to you because you do the coloring pages. And I said, I want to run that play. And my play was a little bit different. However, I ran that play based on what you shared. And it was fantastic how we were able to get into the school system and 5,000 coloring pages because you were passionate about that and you shared. So I really appreciate that. All right, Jolie, you are up next. What is something you're doing or massive action that you see showing up in your business?
The biggest thing that I have done is to focus more on groups rather than individual. Because I jokingly say I have 75 jobs, but really and truly I have 3 plus little. Like I own a business outside of real estate. I have my real estate business and I'm a productivity coach and I'm a mom and a wife and all the things, right? So I realized that I was spread way too thin, and I'm also the K-score driver in my office, G5, all that kind of stuff. And I realized it was just taking so much of my time. I decided I need to focus on meeting with groups of people instead of following the playbook, which is meeting one-on-one with all these prospective people. And so I started going back to my group career nights, like whether in person or on Zoom or whatever. So it's a group of people instead of one-on-one. And then for my real estate business, I'm planning out several seminars so I can meet with groups of prospective buyers and sellers, and also with my coaching group, really adding more group sessions on so I can connect with the agents that I work with more often without without losing my time for other activities. So I can be really purposeful. And I'm looking at my time block and my calendar and revising that to where I'm able to be where I want to be and still do the things that I need to do. And then just yesterday with what Tulio said, it really struck with me do you feel like you're in a place where you're making a decision or avoiding one? That's such a powerful question, because everything we're doing is a decision.
Yep. I love that. And
It's
if you
just,
were,
what decision are you making? Are you deciding to live your best life? Yeah.
yeah, if you weren't on the
That's
call yesterday or saw Tulio did post, it was fantastic. I would highly encourage you print that page, study it. Amazing, amazing call yesterday, Tulio. Thank you for leading us through that. All right, Ronnie DiCarlo, what's some area of your business that you took massive action and you're seeing results?
So, Leah, first and foremost, if you look at the heading on this chapter, it says 12 things successful people do differently. How many shift tactics are there? 12? Inquiring minds want to know. So for me, some of you know I've had, still have a rough thing between myself and my wife with the cancer and stuff. And a good friend of ours on this call, Stephen Gendel, he put it like this, because he went through it with his son. What if you only had 15 minutes? What would you do? That's my mindset now. Because sometimes I only have 15 minutes. If I'm racing here, got to go here, got to do that. So that's my mindset now is 15
Love it.
minutes. What do I do?
That's like Auntie Donna says, just decide, do the next right thing. All right, Allison Brent, my friends, my California friends, what do you got?
Good morning. Happy belated birthday, Leah.
Thank you.
Thought about you, said prayer for you.
Thank you.
I didn't call you. I'm sorry. Okay. So you know what? This happened just yesterday. Yesterday, I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. I looked on social media and everyone's posting things that just personally broke my heart. Like talked about having a dog when you're little. I never had a dog. I never had grandparents. And I told Brent, why are all of a sudden everyone's reminding me of all these things that make me sad? So I made a decision and said, you know what? If God's for me, who's against me? And I said, the universe is for me. And I just kept saying that. And I encouraged somebody else to do the same. And you know what? My day turned around yesterday. I won a $50 Nordstrom gift card. A bad deal just got way better. And I think it's mindset. So if we do that every day, change our mindset when we're down, when something goes wrong. So that's my take for today.
No, I appreciate that. Sometimes the thing we do is right between these. It's not an action. It's not I sent 100 letters. I don't, no, I got right between the eyes. And that's a reality right now. Thank you for sharing that. Renee.
Hey, good morning again, Leah. So I'm going to just kind of piggyback a little bit on Alice and Brent here in that I had to get right, not just in my mind, but in my heart as well, and take a hard look at my business and really get myself, because my word for the year is alignment, get myself aligned with my business. And so that meant taking a very hard look at it and saying, okay, these are certain things, areas that are not giving me joy. And I'm just not really excited about, which is really just trying to be the everything agent to everyone. Nobody can do that successfully. So I pared my business down to two focuses, which is working with probate clients and working with seniors. And, I'll be darned if in making that adjustment and making that realignment, things, haven't started showing up. The pipeline is filling up. I, am being very focused in these two areas. I have one system that I apply to both areas, that ends up bringing business to me rather than me chasing business. And so, it's just really allowed me to focus on what I really love, which is upserving, not upselling my clients and bringing the most value to them that I absolutely can. It means that I'm probably going to be working with fewer clients for now, but the clients that I am working with are like, they're just treasures to me. And, I'm just, like I say, the pipeline's filling up and I'm so happy that I made this change, and I'm excited for what the future's going to bring in it. So,
Love it. That is kind of a theme right now. There are a lot of agents that are saying enough with the noise, enough with all of this being spread thin. I am going laser focus on what brings me joy, and their business is exploding. So thank you for sharing that. Marilyn Burke.
Morning. I hired a coach and she's different than she's asking some great questions, but what I did was I have a huge database. I think there's over 12,000 people I've collected in 21 years of serving and then the other business. So, and I never dealt with it, organizing it. I heard everything on the call and DTD2, so I'm doing it. She gave me a chunk it down formula, and so I'm connecting with people and categorizing them, but a small bit at a time makes such a huge difference. I'm having gatherings now with micro groups, like similar to Jolie. I'm trying to say, well, because there's so many people, I'm only hitting the same, 500, let's say on my DTD2, but I'm because I didn't want to deal with the rest of it. So it doesn't sound like a big deal, but sorting and qualifying and really capturing who the who is made the difference and is making the difference in this year. So that's my share today.
Love it. Thank you, Marilyn. All right, we have five of you, and we're going to get you all in before the top of the hour. Dean Moss, you're up.
Hey, good morning, Leah. Great job, and thanks for the opportunity. You always want to focus your discussion with your clients and your conversation on these few words, and those few words are the benefit to you is. You got to find out and listen attentively what they need done and focus only on that benefit to them. And it sounds like a little tweak, but when I started to include that, I mean, you don't say it continuously, obviously, but when you start to include it in conversation, it changes the spotlight from you as the salesperson to them. It's a little tweak in dialogue that goes a long way. So thanks for letting me share that.
Love it. Thanks, Dean. Ira.
Good morning, and thanks for hosting today, Leah. Great job as always. I've really focused my business on a community that I absolutely love as a result of one of my clients who I placed in this community. They were a buyer. When her husband died, she had to sell. She couldn't live there anymore, and it turns out that we closed on her place August 11th, 2023, when she moved out. And since it's not even 2 years, I have closed 6 properties. I have number 7 under contract. Number 8 and 9 are coming in August in the same farm. So I'm farming it heavily, and people know me there. I don't even live there, but people know me there, and I love being in that community.
Love it. Thank you for sharing that. All right. Raquel, Sean, Orly, we're getting you in. Raquel, go up. You're next.
Hi, Leah, and good morning, everybody. For me, it has been implementing consistent communication with my database. It started more intentionally last year. This year, I also I have a full-time assistant, and now I hire a part-time marketing director. And the communication with the database has been through emails to text messages. We implemented the weekly newsletter that we learned from Mary Cheatham King.
Yep.
And that has worked to now I have the most listings that I've ever had in 24 years that I've been in the business. I'm at 19 listings, active listings. I have 7 pendings, and it's just it has slowly starting to accumulate to where it's showing up now. It did not show up initially. It is showing up now. So, and to the point that I had a orphan buyer call me to list his house, and I have a listing appointment with them today from a listing
Love
that
it,
I sold
Raquel.
several years ago.
Congratulations. That's proof. Don't give up. Sean Woods, Orly, go.
Consistency and focus. I shut my business down 2 years ago to focus solely on seniors. I went back, got more certification. I now offer senior seminars every month, and it's educational. I host a panel of experts who bring education to the seniors and what they need to do to make better decisions going forward. And just by doing that has built my credibility. And I come from a place of contribution. I'm not there for what's in it for me. I'm there solely for what do they need to know to make a better decision so they don't have a catastrophic end to their life.
Love it. Orly, close us out.
Yes. So this is for those of you that want to embrace success. It's about deserving. Do you feel that you deserve the success that you can reap in this business? Because a lot of us don't feel that we deserve it and we stand in our own way. But if you embrace that you deserve a life by design truly, then it's about living and doing your business with intention and intentionality. So if you have that why in front of you of deserving this wonderful life that you can have with a business that has no ceiling, then you live with intentionality. The one thing that I've changed lately is the table builders, where I invited 18 women into my home, stripped out only Orly, and came to them as Orly with vulnerability and just as a friend. And that was one of the most deepest events that I've ever done, because they felt that I really invited them into my heart and into my home. And it cost me nothing because they were happy to pay for it. So you deserve it.
I love it. Orly, you are so amazing. Thank you for sharing that. That is the best way to close, folks. You guys have your inspiration. Go put in the perspiration. Go connect with somebody today. And remember, don't give up. You're very close to achieving what you desire in your world. I love you all. Have an amazing weekend. We'll see you soon.
Thank you, Leah.
Thank you, Leah.